Hi, this is Cool K from Countyfairgrounds.net, and you're the marketing director for the Iowa State Fair, right?
I am.
Okay, so the fair's coming up. I believe it's starting tomorrow?
It is. It'll be here before we know it.
Okay. All right. Do you give me a little bit of history of the fair, how many years it's been running?
Yeah, so this is our 170th year. We started
Wow.
in 1854, and we've changed a lot over the years, but the reason we started was to make agriculture better in Iowa, and that is our main event still today.
Okay, and you've been there for 170 years, right?
Close. 10. But I have a long history here at the fair. So as a kid, I was a 4-H'er. I participated in our statewide talent search. And my sister always participated in some of the pigtail ponytail braid contests. So I went to the fair every year as a kid. And then as an adult, I actually was a sponsor for the fair before I came to work here. So I love the fair, and I love all the different parts that it gives back to Iowa.
There's a lot of people that come to this fair. Do you have any idea what the attendance is?
Last year we had 1.1 million. We've been over that
Wow.
1 million mark since about the mid-'80s. So our ticket sales actually this year are way up, and we're looking at beautiful weather. So we'll see what that brings for attendance this year.
Okay. All right. So one of the first questions that comes to mind I always ask is, what's the parking like?
The parking, we have limited on-site parking here at the fairgrounds. So we have 3 parking lots that butt up to the north of our actual fairgrounds, and those can get full-ish during the fair. We've never completely filled them, but we have a great relationship with our neighborhood around the fairgrounds. A lot of people park cars in their yards and have for generations, and we also work with our busing system. We have a DART system in Des Moines, and we use that for a shuttle service from 3 different locations, and they bring roughly 250,000 people to our fairgrounds each year.
Okay, so if I'm a handicapped person, how would you advise I go about this?
We have ADA parking on our grounds. And so you need to show that badge. You come in, and they will park you in that specific area. Then we have golf carts that will pick you up in our parking lots and take you to the gates. And if you need assistance with a scooter or things like that to rent on the grounds, you can do that. All of the buses, the shuttle buses that come onto the fairgrounds are also ADA equipped, and so you can ride one of those shuttle buses in, and next to the gate that they drop off is also a scooter rental tent. So it's relatively easy. We do have about 450 acres here for our fairgrounds, so it's a lot if mobility is an issue for you.
Okay. All right. Well, suppose I'm coming into this gate of yours with like a bunch of kids under 12. What do you suggest I do first?
Oh, we have a lot of free things to do. So if you come in with kids, we have Little Hands on the Farm, which is an immersion into basically where your food comes from. It goes through the different commodities that we grow here in Iowa, and it ends at a grocery store where you turn in your fruits and vegetables and your crops and can choose an item, an ice cream bar, or a granola bar from our grocery store. That is celebrating 20 years this year. We have an animal learning center that where baby animals are born throughout the fair. So there's cattle, sheep, goats, ducks. There's even a goat playpen in there. And then this year we have 2 other kids activities, which are kids can cook. So you can learn how to cook in the kitchen with your kids, or your kids can learn how to be independent in the kitchen. And then we have Cowboy Boot Camp, which is panning for gold. saddling up a horse and doing all those sorts of fun cowboy things this year.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. One of the things I would ask and I would worry about too, if I was a senior or even if I was just coming in there with kids, restroom facilities. It's always a big question.
Yes. We have ADA accessible restrooms. We even have an adult changing station in one of our first aid offices. So we want to be accommodating as we can. We have mothers' restrooms, and we also have family restrooms. We have some nursing stations, and then our restrooms are sort of sprinkled throughout the grounds. All of our buildings have restrooms, and then we have some porta potties also available, and a few of those are accessible as well.
Okay. What about grounds acts?
Sure, yeah. During the day, we have local entertainment that happens on our free stages. And then in the evening, we have entertainment that we pay to come in on our 3 stages, but the fairgoer gets to see them for free. This year, we also have 2 acts that are extreme type things. So one is a trampoline act with some acrobats, and the other one is a high dive act. We also have chainsaw carvers, glass blowers, and other artistic demonstrations. And then strolling on our grounds, we have a one-man band called Bandoloni. We have an illuminator, which is mirrored man. And then we have another strolling act called the ice cream show.
The ice cream show. You want to explain that a little bit?
I'm not quite sure. He has performed on our stages before, and so I'm anxious to see what his act looks like as a strolling act this year. So they go throughout our grounds and stop people and do some entertainment. So he's done juggling before and some other things. So I don't know if that's what he has planned this year, so we'll find out.
Okay. And then another question comes to mind, which I'm sure you probably have a lot of food concessions sprinkled around.
Oh, yes. We have about 200 food vendors here. This year, we have 84 new foods, so they love coming up with something new. We have about 60 items that you can get on a stick. Our biggest sellers, of course, are the traditional corn dog. But in Iowa, we love anything made with pork, and we sell a lot of pork chops on a stick, and we sell a lot of bacon-wrapped things all over the fairgrounds.
And what's your favorite fair food?
I have quite a few. So I like Chucky's tenderloins. They're hand-breaded and handmade, and they sell them as a sandwich, and they also sell them as strips, which is great. And then we have a local vendor of ice cream patties, and it's called Botter's Ice Cream, and they make a peppermint patty. So those are 2 of my favorites. Okay,
so you're saying that your stages really are pretty much all free on the fairgrounds during the day?
Yeah, they are, and we have one grandstand stage that is for our acts, and we sell tickets to those in the evenings, and so we are an 11-day fair, and so we have 11 different acts on our grandstand stage.
Okay, well, give me an idea of some of them.
Oh, yeah, we start with a Christian act, Lauren Daigle. We have a couple of country acts, Thomas Rhett and Brett Young this year. We have a sold-out show for Jelly Roll this year. We have a iconic rock group, Motley Crue. We have also Foreigner this year. We have a comedian, Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, and then we have a pop act in Neo. We have a festival act in the Avett Brothers. We close out the fair on the very last day for our Sunday Fun Day, Family Day, and we have Kids Bop.
Okay. You also have your state fair. I imagine you got a lot of 4-H buildings.
We do, yes. We have quite a few livestock barns where 4-Hers can show livestock, and that's like cattle, horses, goats, chickens, you name it. They show in those livestock barns. And then we also have a full building, our 4-H building, committed to those static projects and those presentations that 4-Hers bring to the state fair.
Hey, I see you got a lot of contests going on. Is that normal for this fair?
We have about 3,000 activities that happen in our 11-day span, and we have some real crazy zany contests like husband calling, whistling, mom calling, nail driving, cow chip throwing, rubber chicken throwing. So a lot of yelling and throwing we have during the fair.
Okay. All right. I know this is a huge fair that has a lot of stuff that goes on during the year. So can you give us an idea of some of the things that are coming up after the fair?
Yeah, so we have about 200-ish non-fair events. So we have a flea market that happens each month, with the exception of, during the fair. And then we also host a lot of other events like gymnastics, wrestling. We have corporate events here. We have a lot of RV shows or hot tub shows. We host a lot of weddings in our buildings or on our stages. So you never know quite what we'll have going on the fairgrounds, but our buildings are used a lot of the time.
Okay, sounds like a great time, and we'll get this up, and hopefully people can get some information from it and help you out.
Absolutely. Go to iowastatefair.org. Check out all the great things we have going on, and if you can't make it this year, then I hope you can make it to the fair in 2025.
Thank you. I've enjoyed talking to you.
You too. You have the best day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.